Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Baseball in 2020, our first broadcast of the new year. A very happy new year to all of our viewers out there. We're underway in the round 14 third grade game between the visiting Penrith Panthers and your Manly Eagles. The weather has held for now. The ground is looking very, very good. The ground staff were out early this morning, laying some extra dirt on the ground, soaking up all the surface water. Big thank you to Noel Markham, Simon Loud, Michael O'Neill and his crew of workers getting the ground into a playable condition and allowing this third grade game to take place this morning. Very important game for the Manly Eagles in third grade. All games in the State League were washed out yesterday. This is the only action in State League today. So Manly with 3 opportunities to gain half a win on everybody currently running in front of them. As we see Stephen Patterson draw the lead-off walk, we're currently in the bottom of the second inning. Manly with an 8-0 lead, getting all their runs in the first inning. We'll bring you the starting lineups very shortly. It's going to be Dean Storey, today's starting pitcher for the Eagles, to bat here. He's hitting in the 5 hole, currently with 2 innings under his belt, only 2 hits. As that ball is pulled down the left field line, it's going to be extra bases for Storey into the corner. So that's a stand-up double for Dean Storey. And it's going to bring a visitor from the Penrith manager, Dean Jacobs. Looks like he's going to make a pitching change. Looks like we've lost our centre field camera for the time being. Currently pointing at the sky. We'll have to get our technicians up to fix that in a minute. Run through the Penrith lineup. Leading off for the Panthers is number 16, Jordan Rigney. He's playing left field. Charlie Woodhouse is the shortstop. Luke Edwards at centre field. Dylan Maxworthy, designated hitter. Mark Hagar playing first base. Jake Edwards at second. Jacob Bowen at right field. Jacob Carr at third base. Ben Richards doing the catching. And Cameron Baird was the pitcher. And he's now making way for Jacob Carr. He's going to come over from third base. Dylan Maxworthy is going to go into the game from the DH spot into third base, and Cameron Baird comes out of the game. The Manly lineup, already 9 runs now. Benjo Patterson scoring on that double by Dean Storey. It's Liam Mayo leading things off. He's got the catching duties this afternoon. Kevin DeGale's still on the disabled list. And Ben Little just coming back from a knee injury sustained just before Christmas. And he already has 1 caught stealing in the first inning this morning. Scockler Hesse is at shortstop. Dio Mason in centre field. Stephen Patterson at first base. Dean Storey, the pitcher. Ben Little at third base. Chris Hurley in left field. Nathan Stenning in right field. And making a comeback of sorts at second base today is Brendan Dundas. And the Manly Eagles manager is number 41, Tim Clark. Manly with 8 runs in the first inning, half of them coming with none out. Has forced Penrith to make a pitching change. That's going to bring up Ben Little. Had a pair of RBIs in his first at-bat of the day. And the first offering from Jacob Carr is up for ball 1. And that ball is going to be fouled off behind us for strike 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike for Ben Little, playing at third base today. And that ball's going to be grounded up the middle into centre field. And the play at the plate isn't in time. Dean Scorey comes in scoring. Hanley with their 10th run of this ball game. Normally a blowout like this, you see a bit of a walk-a-thon, but Manly have been putting the ball in play continuously, keeping this game moving. So Ben Little with the stand-up double. It's going to bring up Chris Hurley for the Eagles. He's going to bat with none out. Bottom of the second inning. And that's going to be in for strike 1. One on one now for Hurley. And that ball trickling foul over to third base. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that ball's going to be lifted into left field for a single. Little moving over to third base. That ball falling just in front of Jordan Rigney in left field. Going to bring up Nathan Stenning for the Eagles here. And he's going to take the first pitch for strike 1. Jacobs getting started with a strike. First pitch strike's very important. Little jam shot there on the hands. So 0-2 here for Stenning. Another foul there by the Manly right fielder. Counter remain, no balls and 2 strikes. and down in the dirt for ball 2, and strike 2. Correction, 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And that ball's going to be hit to the shortstop, who knocks it down but can't get the ball over, and he throws it away. It's going to be an extra base for Hurley, and Stanning will also move up to second. So probably an error on the throw by the shortstop. It's going to be another run for the Eagles. And it's going to bring up Brendan Dundas, batting 1,000 on the season. One at bat for 1 hit. And that ball's going to be pulled on the ground into left field. Unfortunately, our left field camera isn't aimed in the right direction at the moment either. That's going to be an RBI for Dundas. Going to turn the lineup over for the Eagles. It's going to be Liam Mayo. And that ball's going to be lifted into centre field. Nice catch by the centre fielder Luke Edwards there, getting the out. A throw just a little bit late. So Stanning scoring on the sacrifice fly. Twelfth run for the Eagles. 13th run for the Eagles coming in to score. It's going to bring up the shortstop Scott Clohessy. These lower grade games are timed games. This game kicking off on time this morning at 9:30. So we're just short of the first hour. That ball to the shortstop for 1. Charlie Woodhouse making the turn to Jake Edwards, and a nice leap by the first baseman Mike Hagger to avoid the throwing error. So Scott Clohessy is going to reach on the fielder's choice. Dundas out at second for the second out of the inning. Penrith now 2 out. And it's going to be the centre fielder Dion Mason. Mason hits that ball to third. Maxworthy picks it up, throws it across the diamond, and that's going to end the second inning. Manly with 5 in that one, and they are out to a 13-0 lead early. We'll be back with the top of the third very shortly. Jacob Carr with the lead-off single there. Getting things underway in the top of the third inning for the Penrith Panthers. It's going to be Ben Richards, catcher. He's going to push it down to first base. Only one play, and that's at first. And that will be the first out of the inning. Stephen Patterson with that play there. Turning the lineup over now back to the leadoff man, Jordan Rigney. He fouls that one off for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that brought a Story over to Patterson for the second out. Jacob Carr moving up to third base. For 2 out here in the top of the third inning. And it's going to be Charlie Woodhouse. And he takes the first pitch from Dean Story for strike one. That ball hit into left field. Past the stretching glove of Ben Little at third base. And it's going to record Penrith's first run of the game. So Penrith putting the ball in play, and they've got themselves on the board, avoiding a potential shutout. Luke Edwards now for the Panthers. He takes ball 2, just missing. And that one in for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike for Luke Edwards, the centre fielder today. That ball ripped to Stephen Patterson at first base, picks it up, touches the base, and that'll finish the top of the third inning. Penrith with a run on the board. They trail the Eagles 13-1. Stephen Patterson, the first baseman for the Eagles, leading things off in the bottom of the third inning. The first pitch from Jacob Carr is in the dirt and into the back screen for ball one. Only the 3 appearances in third grade so far for the man known as Banjo. 2 for 7. 1 run scored, 3 RBIs, a walk and 2 strikeouts. Fouls that ball sharply back into the Manly dugout. Almost taking out centre fielder Dion Mason standing on the fence. 1 ball and a strike now for Patterson. And that pitch up the middle into centre field. Banjo's the board with a single. It's going to bring up Dean Story for the Eagles. And that pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1. And 2 for Story with that ball fouled into the back net. Story has only appeared offensively twice. Has had a designated hitter the other times when he has started ball games on the mound. 2 hits from his 3 at-bats with 1 run and 1 RBI. And 2 walks to his name. And that pitch is lifted high into the morning sky. It's probably going to drop in the hole. No. Good catch there by Charlie Woodhouse in shallow left field. And that's the first out of this bottom of the third inning. Ben Little hitting here with 1 out. 2 for 11, but he has picked up a couple of hits today. And he takes ball 2 in the dirt, allowing Stephen Patterson to move up. And that pitch is up for ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes here for the Manly third baseman. And that one in for strike 1. 3 balls and a strike now. And that pitch just down, so that'll be ball 4 for Little. Keeps his perfect record for the day intact. 2 hits from 2 at-bats and the walk. Big part in Manly's big 8-run first inning. Brings up the left fielder for the Eagles, Chris Hurley. A foul ball to the lower leg. In a game before Christmas. So this is his first game back. And he's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Two for 8, hitting 250. That ball hit to shortstop. Going to be the first out, but he's going to move the runners over. Second out, rather. Good play made by Charlie Woodhouse. Good clean pick up, throw across the diamond. 2 out now for Nathan Stenning, Manly right fielder. And he takes ball 1. We're going to add on a couple of more runs in this game. Improve Manly's run scoring ratio on the season. Currently sitting at 69 and 56. Strike 1 now. 2 balls and 1 strike for Nathan Stenning. And that ball's going to be chopped to Charlie Woodhouse. Easy catch for the shortstop. And that's the third out of the bottom of the third. Manly without a run in that one. But they still lead 13-1 as we head to the top of the fourth. Dylan Maxwell to lead things off here for the Penrith Panthers. Top of the 4th inning. Manly scoring 8 in the bottom of the first, 5 in the bottom of the second. Penrith getting their first run in the top of the third. And that is how it stands. And Dylan Maxwell punches it into right field. Dion Mason running around to collect it. And Maxworthy is going to be aboard with a single. Mark Haggard now the first baseman. Takes strike one from Dean Story. And that ball straight at Ben Little at third base. Throws it across the diamond for the double play. And just like that, there are two out here in the top of the fourth. Mark Haggard hit that pretty hard, but straight at the Manly third baseman. Dylan Maxworthy, not realising the ball was caught, continued on his journey to second. Became the second leg of the double play. Ball was hit that quickly. Our camera crew couldn't keep up with the catch at third. And that pitch is up for ball one. One ball and one strike. Second baseman Jake Edwards hitting for the Panthers. That ball in for ball two. So 2 balls and a strike. Manly second graders warming up ahead of their game. Scheduled for a 12 noon start. Another big game in the scheme of things for the Eagles in second grade. Currently holding on to 4th spot. A full game behind the Cronulla Sharks. But with their game washed out yesterday, they'll be able to close the margin by half a win. And Dean Story with the oh sorry as soon as that pitch leaves his hand, taking Jake Edwards in the shoulder. The Panthers will have a base runner with 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. So no games were played yesterday in the under 18s, despite the efforts of the Manly ground crew. Had the ground in some sort of playable condition mid-morning, but the rain kept coming down. Made the ground too soggy to play, so they've done an excellent effort today to get it playable. So Borkham Hills hold there, placing in first. Cronulla in second. Ryde third. Central Coast in fourth. Macarthur fifth. And the Manly Eagles in sixth. The Eagles head down to Gilchrist Oval in a fortnight to take on the Orioles. So a big game for the Eagles. And that ball hit on the hop to Scockler Hesse. No, it's gone through. So that's into left field for a single. Thought Scockler might have been able to get that, but it just got underneath his glove. And Jacob Bowen is going to be aboard. Runners on first and second now for the Panthers. And it brings out the pitcher, Jacob Carr. And he takes the first offering from Dean Story down from ball one. The Penrith able to string some hits here in the last 2 innings. Scored a run in the third. And a couple more runners here, albeit with 2 out. And that one's fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes now for the Penrith Panthers pitcher. And that ball's going to be lifted into right field. Nathan Stenning with the run and the catch. And that'll be the third out of the top of the fourth. No runs for the Panthers in that one, despite getting a couple of runners. And the Manly Eagles will come up to bat with the 13-1 lead. Bottom of the fourth here, Brendan Dundas on first base after being hit by a pitch. That ball pulled to left field. Third base, Dylan Maxworthy throwing the ball over the head of the first baseman. Liam Mayo will trot into second base. Manly with 2 runners on here. Bottom of the fourth inning and none out. And Scott Clahesi batting for the 4th time today. He's officially 0 for 2 with the hit by pitch, and he takes strike 1. That pitch just up for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike for Scott Hesse. Hit by pitch in the first inning, grounded out to the third baseman in the second, and reached on a fielder's choice in the third. And he bats here with a couple of runners aboard. He's going to knock one in the form of Brendan Dundas. That ball getting past the shortstop Charlie Woodhouse. The run scoring for the Eagles, taking it out to 14-1. Bring up the centre fielder for the Eagles, Dion Mason. The first pitch is a wild one, getting to the back screen. Liam Mayo trotting in from third base. Scott Hesse going up to third. And a strike there from Jacob Carr. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dion Mason with a pair of strikeouts and a ground out in his 4 at-bats. And he's there for strike 2. So a ball and 2 strikes. And that pitch off the fists and flying out to the second baseman there, Jake Edwards. And that's the second out of the inning. First out of the inning. Bring up the Manly first baseman, Stephen Patterson. 1 for 1 on the day. Singled into centre field in his last at-bat. Was hit by pitch and walked. As he fouls off the 1-0. Past the lazy Tim Clark there in the third base coach's box. 1 ball and a strike for Stephen Patterson. And that pitch is up for ball 2. Was punched over the right side. And a good running catch there by the right fielder, Jacob Bowen. Scott Hesse will move up 90 feet. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Going to have a pinch hitter in the form of Jackson Forbes. Left-handed hitting Forbes coming off the bench. Possibly to the mound in the bottom half of the inning. We'll see what decision Tim Clark makes when this inning is done. Forbes takes strike 1 from Jacob Carr. Forbes hitting a low 182 on the season, 4 for 22 with 3 runs scored, 5 RBIs, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. 1 ball and 1 strike for Jackson Forbes. And that ball hits softly up the first baseline. It's going to be a race, but good work by the pitcher, Carr. Picking it up just inside the line underarm toss to the first baseman in Hagger, and that'll be the third out. Manly with another couple in that one. They lead 15-1, heading in the top of the fifth. Jackson Forbes taking over on the mound for the Manly Eagles. 4 appearances this year, 8 innings pitched, has an ERA of 5.62, 9 hits, 14 runs given up, only 5 earned, has walked 11 and struck out 12. A few more walks than he would have wanted. There's a chance here to get an important bit of work under his belt. It's going to be Ben Richards, the catcher for the Panthers, to lead things off here in the top of the fifth. And Jackson in with a strike. Just the start he would have wanted. No balls and a strike for the Penrith catcher. Only his second at-bat of the day. And a big swing and miss there from Richards. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball down in the dirt. Well blocked by the Manly catcher, Liam Mayo. 2-2 now for Richards. It's a very good morning to everyone watching online. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to say g'day. Let us know where you're watching from. And that pitch up and away, filling the count for Richards. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, and a foul there from Richards. Keeping his at bat alive. Counter remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. That ball hit to the third baseman, Ben Little. Pick up and strong throw over to first. First out of the top of the 5th inning. Turn the lineup over now for Jordan Rigney. Big swing and miss there from the left fielder. Had singled in the first inning and then grounded out to the pitcher Dean Story in the third. 1 for 2 record on the day. And a nice curveball there from Forbes, getting himself ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Ball hit to Scott Clohessy at shortstop. Throw across the diamond just in time. Stephen Patterson able to keep his foot down on the base. And that'll be the second out of the top of the 5th. Left side of the diamond. Very busy in this inning. So 2 out. It's going to be Charlie Woodhouse. Grounded out in the first. Single to the left field in the third. And Jackson Forbes starts him with a curveball. No balls and 1 strike. One and one now for Woodhouse. Good block by the home plate umpire Emma Cummings on that one. Penrith bench letting Liam Mayo know about it. 2 balls and a strike now for Woodhouse. It's also been very busy at shortstop today. That ball hit deep into centre field, but Dion Mason's underneath it. Makes the grab for the third out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Forbes. Just what his manager, Tim Clark, would have wanted. And the Manly Eagles will head to the bottom of the 5th. 1 run away from finishing off this game early. So Ben Little will lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nice 1-2-3 inning from Jackson Forbes in the top half. Ben Little takes a called strike 1. He singled into right field and doubled into centre in his 2 at-bats. Has also drawn a walk. A ball and a strike now for the Manly third baseman. And that's in for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The ball hit to the second baseman, Jake Edwards. He retires Bennett Little for the first time today. Just a defensive change for the Penrith side. Coming into play third base, he's Jason McAllister. And he replaces Dylan Maxworthy there. So 1 out. Chris Hurley up to bat. 2 for 3 on the day. Single to centre field in the first. Single to left in the second. And then grounded out to the shortstop, Charlie Woodhouse. It's been a very impressive performance by Jacob Carr. Coming on in relief early in this one. While he's given up 7 runs, he's certainly stopped the bleeding that was happening in the first inning, with Manly scoring the 8. That's down for ball 3, so 3 balls and no strikes for Chris Hurley. And that'll be a 4-pitch walk for the Manly left fielder. And we're going to have a pinch runner for the Eagles. It's going to be Ben Logue to come in to run. Ben currently shut down from pitching with an arm injury, sustained towards the end of 2019. Excuse me. It's first time on base as his brother heckles from the broadcast booth, and it's going to be Nathan Stenning to hit for the Eagles. And he takes the first pitch from Jacob Carr in for a strike. No balls and a strike. That ball lifted into centre field. It's going to drop in front of the centre fielder, Luke Edwards, for a hit from Nathan Stenning. One for 3 on the day for Nathan Stenning. Also has a walk to his name. And that ball fouled off behind the plate. Brendan Dundas. First game back for the Eagles is 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Manly here with 1 out and runners on first and second. A pitch up for ball 1. 1 ball and a strike. And that ball's going to be lifted into left field. It's going to get down. Ben Logue's going to score all the way from second base. So it's a stand-up double for Brendan Dundas into left field. It's an RBI. And it looks like that could be over. Home plate umpire Emma Cummings is just going to check with the scorers that we have a result. 15-run, 5-inning mercy rule will come into effect. And there it is. We have our result. So the Manly Eagles kicking 2020 off in style. Important win. 16-1. 8 runs scored in the first inning, scattering the rest over the remaining 4. 5 in the second, none in the third, couple in the fourth, and then 1 there in the fifth to finish it off. 4 strong innings from Dean Storey. A couple of hits, only 1 earned run. Jackson Forbes with an inning of work at the end. Brendan Dundas going 3 for 3 with the hit by a pitch. Chris Hurley with a couple of hits. Ben Little with a pair of hits and a walk. Also some good defence at third base, including a nice double play. And Liam Mayo solid as always. 2 hits. So 1 hit, sacrifice fly, a walk, and he also had a caught stealing from behind the dish. So Manly end this one 16-1. It'll give us a little bit of extra time before the second grade game kicks off. So make sure you're tuning in from noon. Thanks for catching this third grade game. We'll see you back in about 40 minutes for our second grade game.